Hello, my name is Kevin Edward. I'm the CEO of Mtabe. I'm here with my CEO, Kuzonyoka, and we are here to share with you what we do and what we want you to do about it. The truth of the matter is, out of 10 people in Africa, only 3 have internet access. Now, the people who suffer the most from this fact are secondary school students who, apart from being unable to afford the internet, they also cannot afford textbooks and they cannot afford smartphones. So what are we doing about it? We have come together to provide a way through which students can get instant curriculum-aligned answers and content without the need for internet. In essence, what we are providing is offline e-learning. And the way we do this is we use artificial intelligence and SMS technology to provide this content to students. So this is how it works. The student wouldn't need to use any different device, or they wouldn't need to buy a smartphone. They just go to where they would normally send a text message. And then what they do after that is they message the content that they need. In this case, they will send it to our short code 91011. And then after that, our system will automatically know what the student wants and deliver it to their phone within a few seconds. Now, we understand that technology is growing in Africa, and the internet penetration is increasing, which is why we have created an app that students can use in the same manner. We believe that good innovation is one that uses a technology which, 1, people already have, 2, people can afford, and 3, people know how to use. Which is why we have the solution for people who have internet as well as those who don't. But apart from that, it is very important for us that the content we provide is one that students can use, which is why we have aligned our content in our local market, Tanzania, with the curriculum subjects. Now, these are some of those subjects, and the main reason we have aligned it with these subjects is so that the students can use this in their normal classes, and they can know that the content that they're getting from us is one that is aligned to what they're being taught in school. To give you a bit more understanding of how this works, we have created a demo to show how it would look like when a student is using a feature phone. So a student would go where they normally send a text message, they will write our short code 91011, and then they will write the content that they need in their natural language. So in this case, the student is asking the causes of First World War. And notice when they send, and when the message is sent on their phone, the content is already there. It is very specific, but most importantly, it is delivered within a few seconds. Now, if a student has a question of a different subject, the process is pretty much the same. They just write our short code and then they ask the question that they have. In this scenario, the student is asking a geography question and they want to know what is solar system. And immediately after they press send, the content is sent on their phone. Again, it's very specific and it is all sent in within a few seconds. The most important thing about this is that the language which we use is student-friendly, and the content that we deliver, 1, can be manageable on a feature phone, but apart from that, it is aligned to the curriculum. But there's more. We have been working on a way in which we can assess the student. So we don't just ask student questions, or they don't just ask us questions. After they have requested content from us, we also give them a way in which they can assess whether they are learning, which is why students can request quizzes from Mtabe in different topics that they study, and then after that, they can gauge themselves whether they're learning or whether they're not. Now, this is my team, the management team at this is myself. I've been working on EdTech for the past 6 years, and my first venture has been around for 5 years, and it got an award at Buckingham Palace from Her Majesty the Queen because of the impact that we had. And everything that we have been learning with my team for those past 5 years has led us to a product like Mtabe. So it's not a product that just began with an idea, but it began with a need, with what students have been requesting. My demo serves at least 37,000 students every month from across 10 countries. And it is from the feedback from those users that we knew they need a way in which they can ask questions and get answers. And that's how Mtabe was born. But then again, we have a team of teachers, 7 teachers, who prepare this content. These teachers are professionally qualified, and the content that they curate is sourced from different books and different sources. And it is approved by the Tanzania Institute of Education to ensure that the content that we provide for students is something that they can use in their exams. So does this work? As we proceed, our ambition goes way beyond Tanzania. We look forward to scaling this across Africa, which is why over the next 2 years, we are looking forward to expanding into these 5 countries. And in total, we're going to have a total of 14.2 million secondary school students. Now, that number is huge, and with the network that we are going to develop and the revenue, we expect to grow exponentially, not just in terms of users, but also in terms of revenue. Which is why we are here today to look for partnerships, not just in those markets, but any new markets that students will benefit from our product. And we are open to conversations about how we can work together. Thanks.
Thank you, Given. Does anybody have a question?
Hi, thank you. Could you give us more details on your revenue model, please?
Great, thanks. The way our revenue model works is we understand that students cannot pay for SMS, so we partner with telcos like the way we did with Vodacom. And that way, they pay licensing fee to us. So the way they pay this licensing fee is we provide them an amount, our licensing cost, and then they pay that to us. Then at the end of the day, students do not pay anything. So the contract can be in 1 year, or 2 years, or 3 years. So that's how we make our money, basically, B2B.
Any other questions?
Hi, so there's a question from the live stream. It pretty much ties into the question that was just asked. So Slate Cube HQ asks, who bears the expense for each SMS query? Is there a revenue split between Mtabe and telcos? And they also wanted to comment to you about the logo. It's a nice logo, by the way. And another question says, from the same person, it says, so this is only available to telcos you've partnered with.
Great, so that's a good question. So for the first question, what we do is, we don't just, okay, I'll begin with the last one. It's not just available to telcos, but we are basically looking for an easy way, 1, to cut costs for students, and 3, to make it easy for us to collect revenues, especially in markets like African markets, whereby revenue collection can be pretty tough. So we are open to work in different ways, but we are not restricted to just telcos. Because, for instance, the app is available for downloading by any users, and we can integrate mobile money into it, which is something that we have done. So there are different ways that we can do this. And in terms of revenue split, that depends on the agreement that we are getting with the telco. Because if you are asking for exclusivity, that is, it's just available for your users and others have to pay, then that also translates into a different licensing fee. So the packaging is different. We can package on a white label, or we can brand it on a split fee whereby we get 50-50. Basically, there are many parameters we are looking at to determine how much we are getting, or whether it's 50-50. It just depends on our agreement with the telcos. So no, it's not available to just telcos. And the way we work with telcos is not just on a 50-50 split or a specific amount. It's the agreement that we're going to get.